بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. All praise and thanks belong to Allah, who has granted us the blessing of knowledge and strength to pursue excellence. A warm and sincere welcome to all my wonderful BDS first year juniors who have joined us today for the BDS first year guidance session, organized by the Academics Committee of IMSA. I'm your host, Anas Abdul Tahir, a second year student from Panina Dental College, and it is truly an honor to host this session for all of you. Let's be honest. Right now, many of you are facing a lot of stress and whatnot. It feels like you have opened up a whole new universe where bones have 206 names, physiology has more potential than your future plans, and biochemistry feels like a foreign language. But don't worry, every senior here has been exactly where you are, surviving on chai, late night cramming, and telling your friends ke baap kal se pakka pad lenge. The good news, you're not alone, and today we have your back. As they say, wisdom flows best when it comes from people who have survived the same battlefield. Today, we are here to help you study smarter, prepare better, and face your exams with confidence instead of pure panic. No matter how you have joined, feeling motivated, half dead from studies, or just because the group was spamming the link, I pray you leave feeling lighter, clearer, and ready to conquer, inshallah. With open hearts and hopefully charged phones, let's make this gathering fun and fruitful. Now, before we jump into the academic session, let's start with the best source of peace. I now invite Zohair Laik Mohsin, a third year senior from SSCDS, to recite some beautiful verses from the Holy Quran. May Allah bless this session with peace, barakah, and beneficial learning. Ameen.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'll be reciting Surah At-Teen. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. And the translation by the fig and the olive, and by Mount Sinai, and by the secure city, Makkah. We have certainly created man in the best form. Then we return him to the lowest of the low, except for those who believe and do righteous deeds, for they will have a reward uninterrupted. So what yet causes you to deny the recompense? Is not Allah the most just of judges? Sadaqallahu al-Azim.
Subhanallah, that was incredibly moving and calming. Jazakallah khair, Zohair. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the platform behind today's session. IMSA. It is more than an organization, it is a family of students supporting students, rooted in faith, mentorship, and sincere service. A big thank you to the entire IMSA team and organizers for putting this together. Now, let me just give you a quick preview of what we have today. It is basically your survival guide. We will be covering smart study tips, high yield topics, revision hacks, Viva tricks, and real talks from seniors who have been through the fire and lived to tell the tale. Keep your notes ready and let's turn the stress into success. First up, we're going to be having physiology, the subject that teaches us how the body works while making our own brains stop working during exams. We have with us Miss Amina Masood Khan from Mamta Institute of Dental Sciences 2024. Please welcome Miss Amina Masood Khan. Over to you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Please make me the co-host. Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Amina from Mamta Institute of Dental Sciences 2K24 batch, and today I'll be guiding you all for physiology. So let's go. First, बहुत सारे लोगों का क्वेश्चन रहता कि why study physiology, कि कौन सा भी सब्जेक्ट आप क्यों पढ़ना है. तो अल्लाह ताला कुरान में इरशाद फरमा रहे हैं, औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम, इक़रा बिस्मि रब्बिकल लज़ी ख़लक़ ख़लक़ल इंसाना मिन अलक़ इक़रा व रब्बुकल अकरम अल्लज़ी अल्लम बिल क़लम अल्लमल इंसाना मा लम यअलम. तो अल्लाह ताला फरमा रहे हैं कि पढ़िए आप, नॉट जस्ट द कुरान एंड द हदीस, बट जो भी बेनिफिशियल नॉलेज है वो आपको पढ़ना है. सो जस्ट लाइक दैट फिजियोलॉजी इज़ ऑल्सो वेरी important and it is beneficial to know. So it is essential because it uncovers the fundamental how and why behind the human body. And also for understanding pathology, you can't fully comprehend what goes wrong in disease states without first knowing how a healthy body maintains stability, that is homeostasis. Like first, if you know the normal processes, then you can point out the abnormal ones, right? So नीट के टाइम भी ऐसा होता था कि वी आर साइंस स्टूडेंट्स, सो व्हाई स्टडी लाइक फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री. So when you come to the second year, like physics plays a role here, like thermal expansion रहता, contraction रहता, stress, strain, Poisson's ratio, and whatnot. And chemistry, obviously, it comes in biochemistry. So yeah, let's move on. Book
Amina, sorry to interrupt you. Could you please make your landscape mode में कर सकते हैं आप portrait हटा के, like आपका phone horizontal कर लीजिए ना please. Yes, thank you very much.
book resources may we have textbooks Sambulingam and AK Jain. Sambulingam, from the exam point of view, it is very good. Headings, subheadings, and everything is given. And for AK Jain में like आपको अगर कुछ diagrams ये वो देखना है which are not there in Sambulingam, so you can refer AK Jain for that. And guides, we have Abida Jumani and Satya Prakash. Abida Jumani question bank is already shared in the group. And Jyotsna Rao, Hemant Gupta, they also have these answers. But Jyotsna Rao में ऐसा है कि uh, they have this very short answers for a very LAQ question के लिए. So personally, I won't recommend these guides because बहुत basic black and white रहते, colorful नहीं रहते, तो पढ़ना तो दिल नहीं बोलता. Like you should make your own notes and textbook से ही पढ़ना चाहिए. So let's move on. Video resources, we have Dr. Najib lectures. इनके बहुत डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन रहते, लाइक आपको अगर कोई टॉपिक का बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं है, कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा, सो यू शुड गो फॉर डॉक्टर नजीब एंड निंजा नर्ड एज वेल. एंड वी हैव अक्षत जुनेजा. एंड ऑस्मोसिस, आपको अगर कोई टॉपिक का रिकैप करना है, लाइक अ शॉर्ट रिविजन और अ ब्रीफ एक्सप्लेनेशन, देन यू कैन गो फॉर ऑस्मोसिस. मैक्सिमम 10 to 15 मिनट्स के वीडियोस रहते हैं इसके. सो या, दैट्स अबाउट इट एंड लेट्स मूव ऑन. Now, how to study? Firstly, your environment matters. Your both external and internal environment matters. External में you should not have any like distractions and all. आवाजें ये वो रहते. Like whenever you are sitting to study, आप एक रूम में बैठ जाना, रूम बंद करके अकेले बैठ जाना. And internal environment, like if you are struggling with anything like depression है, anxiety है, whatever problem you have, first आप उसको cope up करना, like you should share with someone, your friends or family, siblings, like whoever you feel comfortable with. Then moving on, first you should cover essays, long answer questions. So simultaneously you cover both SAQs and VSAQs as well in that. And then you cover short answer questions. So you cover very short answer questions as well. And then last May, you should go for very short answers if you have time. And अभी आप कोई भी वीडियो देख रही, so you have to, after watching the video, you read the textbook एक बार रीड करिए, समझ में नहीं आया, देन सेकेंड टाइम रीडिंग, फिर भी समझ में नहीं आया, 3 टाइम रीडिंग, बट यू हैव टू रीड. एंड एज आई सेड, मेक योर ओन नोट्स, बिकॉज आपके नोट्स अपने रहते, आप जो लिखे आप समझ सकते, आप अपने आप को बेहतर समझ सकते, दूसरों के नोट्स कितना भी बोलो उनके ही रहते. सो या, दैट्स इट. And relate whatever you are reading to your body. Imagine and visualize. Like YouTube पे like edited videos जो रहते, so you should watch that to understand any you know physiological process. And अपनी बॉडी से आप रिलेट करके पढ़ना, आप ऐसा सोचना कि मैं ये अपनी बॉडी के बारे में ही पढ़ रही हूँ. So that's how you develop interest in the subject. And explain things to yourself or your friends after reading. And active recall and spaced revision you should do. Like अगर आप आज कोई आंसर पढ़े, so then you revise it like 1 week later, and then 1 month later, so it goes into your kind of your permanent memory. And mark the questions you have completed, you'll get an idea where you stand. So एक पेपर पे या फिर नोट्स में कहीं भी you write all the questions, like all the essays and very short answer questions. So एक एक आंसर होते गए जैसा आप टिक करे, and you when you move on, so you'll get the confidence, like चलो इतने questions हो गए, अभी इतने बाकी है. You'll get an idea where you stand, right? And at last, leave your addictions, limit the screen time. Leave Instagram, Snapchat, सीरीज, मूवीज, ड्रामास, ये सब तो चलते रहते हैं. बट अभी 2 महीने ही है. Like you guys will have exams most probably in second half of September. So अभी 2 महीने के लिए you have to put a stop on all this. Now moving on. These are the important LAQs and short answer questions. You guys can take a screenshot. I'll wait for a few seconds. ये 10 LAQs है and 50 SAQs है, but this is not it. आप इतना पढ़ लिए तो नहीं हो जाता, और भी बहुत पढ़ना है, but these are the most important ones. Okay. Let's move on. Right, paper presentation. First, go for the easier subject. Biochemistry and physiology रहता, तो दोनों में से भी जो भी आपको easy दिखता, you go for that first. And write in a sequence. Preferably it should be essays, then short answer questions and very short answers. And pages minimum essay के लिए 4 pages रहना, and maximum 5 to 6 pages. Short answer questions के लिए it should be 2 to 3 pages, and very short answers के लिए like half a page is enough. And write the question number on the side and top of the answer. And give intros, headings and subheadings. और पेपर आपका like ब्लैक एंड ब्लू पेन से लिखना. आप लाइक इंट्रो एंड हेडिंग, सब हेडिंग्स, ये सब ब्लैक से लिखना, एंड जो मेन मैटर जो रहता वो ब्लू पेन से लिखना. सो योर पेपर लुक्स ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, और जो करेक्ट करने वाला रहता उसको भी दिल बोलता कि पेपर करेक्ट करना. एंड राइट पॉइंट वाइज, ऑब्वियसली डोंट राइट पैराग्राफ्स, बिकॉज देन अगेन करेक्ट करने वाले को दिल नहीं बोलता कि करेक्ट करे. एंड ओनली राइट व्हाट यू आर आस्क्ड, नो एक्स्ट्रा इन्फॉर्मेशन. Like mechanism, like blood coagulation में if it's asking about the intrinsic mechanism, you just write intrinsic, not extrinsic as well. जो पूछ रहा बस उतना ही लिखिए. Draw diagrams with color pencils, and labeling is also important. Include flowcharts and tables. Flowcharts are the main thing in physiology, तो LAQ में flowchart रहना ही चाहिए कैसा भी. And write each answer on a new page. Every LAQ, every short answer question, every very short answer question should be on a new page. And draw a line after you complete each answer. And attempt all questions. अगर कुछ बाउंसर आ गया, मतलब SAQ में, VSAQ में ऐसा क्वेश्चन आ गया जो आप आज तक नहीं पढ़े, उसके रिलेटेड कुछ भी लिखना. तो बिकॉज नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं है यहाँ पर, आप कुछ भी रिलेटेड लिखे तो यू विल गेट हाफ अ मार्क, एंड दैट मैटर्स अ लॉट. Moving on, time management. Total, you have 3 hours, right? So you divide it into equal halves, 1.5 for physiology, and the same for biochemistry. Essay के लिए, we have one essay and 4 short answer questions and 5 very short answers. So one essay के लिए 25 minutes is enough, I think. And every essay के लिए 10 minutes, and very short answers, you should complete it in 15 to 20 minutes. And booklet is very important here. Read the subject name on each booklet, like write physiology and biochemistry लिखा हुआ रहता booklet पे. So you don't write physiology in biochemistry booklet and biochem in physiology. So you'll get 0 marks if you do that. And attempt the section in which you are confident and complete that section. Then head to the next. Okay. And keep the last 10 minutes to check whether you have written all the questions and for any spelling mistakes. And color the diagrams and underline the keywords with color pencils only if you have time at the last. Okay, so let's move on. Now coming to the final practicals. Physiology mein practicals are basically divided into hematological lab and human lab. Hematological lab mein you have the major experiments and minor experiments. Major experiment includes RBC count, WBC count, and differential leukocyte count. Minor experiments mein we have blood grouping, reading time, clotting time, and hemoglobin estimation. Human lab mein we have perimetry, which actually I think many colleges don't show this. And blood pressure is very important. ब्लड प्रेशर तो पक्का कैसा भी ये आप पढ़ के जाना. एंड मेजर एक्सपेरिमेंट में से 3 में से एक पक्का आता, एंड माइनर एक्सपेरिमेंट्स ये चारों में से एक आता. एंड रीड द प्रैक्टिकल बुकलेट फॉर ग्रैंड वाइवा एंड ऑल्सो द फाइनल एग्जामिनेशन थ्योरी पेपर. सो थ्योरी एग्जाम हो जाने के बाद आप क्वेश्चन पेपर फेंक देना नहीं, आप उठा के रखना. एंड बिफोर गोइंग फॉर द फिजियोलॉजी प्रैक्टिकल यू हैव टू सी द आंसर्स टू द क्वेश्चंस फॉर दैट. Moving on, right, marks distribution. Total 600 marks का रहता. So 200 marks for each subject, and that 200 marks is divided into theory and practicals. 100 for theory and 100 for practicals. So minimum passing criteria is 50 for theory and 50 for practicals. अब आप ऐसा सोच रहे हैं कि practicals में 60 ला लेंगे and theory में 40 ला लेंगे, वैसा नहीं होता. Minimum it should be 50, and it's the same for all the subjects. So I hope you all got an idea about the marks distribution. And yeah, thank you for listening till the end. And if you have any doubts, queries, or any questions, you can message me personally, or you can put a message in the group. And I definitely believe everyone is capable of scoring 75% marks, which is the distinction. It's just a matter of your priorities, dedication, smart work, and your hard work. So all the best to everyone for your finals.
Jazakallah khair, Amina. That insight was much needed. Thank you. May Allah bless you. Next, we'll be having biochemistry, where we learn that life is basically a bunch of reactions, just like our reactions while studying it. So, guiding us is Miss Amtal Jamil Mohammadi from Sri Sai College of Dental Surgery 2024 with overall distinction, mashallah. Please welcome her. The stage is yours, Amtal.
One minute, please.
Please just give us a second, guys. I hope it has been beneficial for you guys so far. The physiology thing was very, very detailed and very well done. So I hope you guys are also benefiting from it. And I hope nobody feels कि ये क्या सर ने भी उठा के पढ़ के बातें करने बिठा लिए. So yeah, ये सब आप ही लोगों के लिए होता है. तो I really hope all of you are gonna extract as much information, as much help from us as possible. So inshallah. Okay, we are facing slight technical difficulties on Amtul's end, so we are just gonna go ahead with anatomy first. And for this, joining us will be Miss Anam Fatima from Sri Sai College of Dental Surgery, 2024 batch, with a distinction in anatomy. Please give a warm welcome to Miss Anam Fatima.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I'm Anam Fatima from 2024 batch of Sri Sai College of Dental Surgery, and I'll be your anatomy guide for today's afternoon session. First of all, I would like to sincerely thank the IMSA team for giving me this opportunity to be your guide for this session. It is truly an honor, and I hope this session will be informative and interactive for everyone. I know anatomy can seem complicated and little overwhelming at first during exams, but don't worry. With little guidance from your seniors, will make you much easier. So without further delay, let's begin. So today we will be covering how to prepare for theory exams, improve presentation and scoring, integrate anatomy with clinical knowledge. So the textbooks are Vishram Singh and B.D. Chaurasia. YouTube lecturers is you can refer Johari and BBS. It has 3D visualization for much better understanding. And in question bank, we have RS series, that is Abda Jumani and Jyotsna Rao. In the Abdurrahmani question bank, it also contains synopsis of each chapter of every subject, and it also has a practical point of view spotters and viva questions, which can be useful for last minute revision. But for theory exam, I would personally recommend to study from textbook and your notes only. And the book references are, for exam point of view, Vishram Singh is preferable because it contains concise point-wise matter. It is easy to understand and learn. It has good diagrams and clinical features mentioned in the blue boxes, which can be asked as 2 marks and also should be mentioned in the LAQ as well, which can make a good impression to the examiner. Next, for histology, we have the textbook is IBSing. So you have to mark the most important frequently asked questions in your observation book and write the 3 to 4 identification points so that it can be helpful during a practical exams too. And for embryology and histology, it is also IBSing. For embryology, you need to learn about the development of face, tongue, palate, and thyroid gland, which are important from the exam point of view aspect. And for osteology,
You have to collect the most important frequently asked questions from the BYQs and prepare those well. Mainly, they will be asking about the structures passing and which is good mentioned in the Vishram Singh, and you have the good exam representation too with the diagrams. Next is common mistakes to avoid. First, you have to read the question carefully. Like suppose you need to write the all parts of the answer. Suppose if they ask a question about muscles of mastication, so you need to write about the origin, insertion, and action of each muscle point wisely. Do not just randomly start writing. You should have a good understanding and organization of your answers. Next is you need to manage your time. Be concise and avoid writing unnecessary information beyond what is asked. Avoid overwriting or cutting words. Do not use red or green sketch pens. Never leave a question blank. If unsure, write relevant information or draw a suitable diagram related to the topic. Next is exam presentation. So start with the most confident section. Suppose you know 2 marks well, so start with that first, or like if you know 4 marks well, start with that. But do not mess up your paper by writing the jumbled questions of other sections too. If you don't know any question or any answer to that question, so just write the question number or at least like 1 to 2 lines, whatever you understand by the question and a related diagram, and just leave some space and move on to the next question on the fresh page. Next is how much do we need to write the content? Okay, so for LAQ you need to write 3 pages that which covers front and back, and for SAQs 2 pages, and for VSAQs you need to write half a page or one paper content and diagram. And you need to keep in mind that you should not give more than 2 minutes for 2 markers. Next is use capital headings and underline them. Draw 3 to 4 neat big diagrams. Do not make your diagrams very small. Make it neat and big. Keep labeling on one side. You should not do labeling one on left or one on right. Do it all on the right side itself to make a good organization of your answer. And write neatly, point wise, and maintain the proper spacing. Underline the keywords. And for muscles, you need to mention the side headings of origin, insertion, and action. And start every answer in the fresh page. And mention the question number in the middle of the page because your papers are going to be get scanned. So you need to write the question number in the middle in a big font. And suppose if the question is asked as parotid gland, so write in the capital font, and then you can continue writing your answer. And for the diagram tips, you need to use the color coding. Like for arteries, you need to use a red color. For veins, you need to use blue color. For nerves, you need to use yellow color. And for muscles, you need to use orange color. And paper presentation tips. Use diagrams extensively. Use proper subheadings to organize your answers. Include the flowcharts or tabular form if anywhere needed. And always mention the clinical importance or applied anatomy section if relevant. Because in LAQs as well, write any related clinical significance. For example, lateral wall of nose question is asked. So you need to write about the little area which is epistaxis. And draw a big diagram. For histology, draw a big diagram, label it, and write the heading, and write 5 to 6 identification points. In the worst scenario, if you doesn't know the like if you doesn't remember the identification points, you can just write about the labeling. See, it contains this labeling and that, but you should not leave blank. Okay. And next is recommended diagrams quantity. For long answer questions, you have to draw minimum 4 to 5 diagrams and dedicate about half a page to the diagrams. And for short answer questions, you have to draw 2 to 3 diagrams. And for very short answer questions, you have to write half page of content and any related diagram, which will fetch you good marks. And these are the important PYQs. It has SAQs and VSQs. You all can take a screenshot. I hope you guys have taken a screenshot. These are not just the whole covered PYQs, but a must to complete and high yield topics. We will also be sharing the PYQs list, so go through that questions and prepare it efficiently. These are the LAQs, and I hope you guys have taken a screenshot. When you study the LAQ, study it properly in every heading like artery supply, nerve supply, actions, because in LAQ you can cover 2 marks as well. So that can help you fetch good marks in 2 marks. Next, come to the practicals. You'll be having gross spotters, histology slides, embryology and osteology spotters, and grand viva. In gross spotters, they will put a spotter for you, and the first question they might ask is identify the print structure and write about the muscle attachment. Or else they might ask write about the tight structure and what is the supply of it. And in osteology spotter, they will be asking the structures passing through it, and the most important are foramens. So you need to study that so well because it is very important from the practical aspect. And in histology slides, they will be asking you to adjust the slide and draw the diagram and label it. And next is Viva. So you need to prepare the question paper well, and also the spotters which you will be seeing. So like they will be asking most of the questions out of that only. Next, so that's it for the today's session. So stay calm, be consistent, and keep going. Prepare well for your exams. Any doubts, you can reach out to us anytime. All the best. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Anam. Anatomy feels much more approachable now. And let us now go back to biochemistry. Miss Amtul, the stage is yours. Anam, you're still screen sharing.
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Amatul Jamil Muhammadi from Sri Sai College of Dental Surgery 2K24 batch. I'll be guiding you all for biochemistry exam preparation. So initially paper pattern was explained by Amina. I hope it's clear. If not, then we can discuss once again in doubt clearing session. Let's move on. Here I'll be guiding on paper presentation, time management, mistakes to avoid, revision strategies, and important topics. Biochem is a very neglected subject for all, and at hard रहता बोल के सब first priority रखते उसको. Then DADH is vast, so next priority will be DADH. And physio biochem में of course physio पहले पढ़ लेते. And biochem is easy to memorize, and it's extremely easy to score distinction in biochem if you do prepare from the beginning. So first, let's begin with paper presentation. Start every answer on a new page. Be it an LAQ, SAQ, or VSAQ, start it from a new page, write the question number and then the heading, topic, and underline the topic. It not only looks neat and tidy but also fetches you more marks. The next focus should be on flowcharts and tables in biochem. In biochem, flowcharts are very important for representing pathways, cycles, and you can use tables for differentiation type of answers. And you can use different colors for arrows, enzymes, substrates, and you can make it attractive. Don't write paragraph, write what is asked, and ज़्यादा time waste नहीं करना in writing extra stuff. Be in word limit, don't cross word limit, and highlight all the important questions simultaneously while writing the answer. Last में पढ़ के करेंगे वाली गलती मत करो because last में time नहीं रहता, and जो आप questions attempt नहीं करे वो करने की कोशिश करना last में. Now let's talk about time management क्योंकि physio and biochem दोनों साथ रहता. So read the question paper properly and decide आप जो subject में strong है, you can begin with that. If you start with a weaker subject, then आपको ज़्यादा time लगता to cover one subject and you'll be left with less time for the next. Complete one section and then start with the next section. If you are starting with LAQs, then LAQ complete करो, and VSAQs करे तो पूरे VSAQs एक तरफ लिखना, and then you can start with another section. Don't leave any 2 markers. क्योंकि लास्ट में टाइम नहीं रहता, सो इट्स वेरी ऑब्वियस कि 2 मार्कर्स है, छोड़ देंगे चल जाता. ये दिमाग में लाना है नहीं, कोई क्वेश्चंस नहीं छोड़ना है आपको, हर आंसर अटेम्प्ट करना है. एंड 2 मार्कर्स आप अटेम्प्ट करें तो आपको हाफ मार्क मिल जाता है इजीली, एंड थोड़ा अच्छा लिख लिया तो 1 मार्क या 1.5 मार्क मिल जाता है, विच इज द मैक्सिमम यू कैन स्कोर इन 2 मार्कर्स. सो 2 मार्कर्स आर क्वाइट स्कोरिंग, so don't leave any answer. रही बात बाउंसर क्वेश्चंस की, तो पेपर पैटर्न इज नॉट फिक्स्ड. बाउंसर क्वेश्चन आ जाता, इट कैन बी एन एलएक्यू, एसएक्यू में आ सकता, वीएसएक्यू में आ सकता, बट यू शुड नॉट लूज योर कॉन्फिडेंस. आप पहले जो क्वेश्चन से फेमिलियर है वो अटेम्प्ट कर लेना, एंड बाउंसर क्वेश्चन के लिए आप वो वर्ड कोई टॉपिक में देखे तो वो टॉपिक लिख दीजिए, या फिर जो चैप्टर में आता वो चैप्टर लिख दीजिए, बट प्लीज अटेम्प्ट इट, डोंट लीव इट. कमिंग टू प्री फाइनल्स, यू मस्ट अटेम्प्ट प्री फाइनल्स. प्रॉपर एग्जाम के जैसा प्रिपेयर होना, रिवाइज करना एंड प्रैक्टिस एवरीथिंग एंड अटेम्प्ट योर प्री फाइनल्स. you'll gain confidence after pre-finals, और जो लास्ट मिनट जो स्ट्रेस रहता आपका वो भी बहुत मिनिमाइज होता if you write your pre-finals well. About resources for textbook, we have Essentials of Biochemistry by Yusatya Narayana, and for guide we have Abida Jumani, Jyotsna Rao, and the best notes which even I used during my preparation are Rajesh Jambulkar notes. आपको एग्जाम में जैसा आंसर प्रेजेंट करना रहता, जो जो सब हेडिंग्स रहते, जैसा फ्लो चार्ट्स बनाना रहता, एवरीथिंग दीज नोट्स कंटेन, पूरा एकदम एग्जाम फॉर्मेट जैसा रहता वैसे ही रहते ये नोट्स, तो आप डायरेक्टली इससे भी पढ़ ले सकते. द पीडीएफ विल बी शेयर्ड इन ग्रुप्स इंशाल्लाह. एंड now let's talk about mistakes to avoid. Don't try to attend both the subjects simultaneously. If you are starting with physiology, then complete physiology first and then start with biochem. And don't waste time in writing extra stuff. Be concise with the words, and आप yes, word limit cross मत करिए. Moving on to preparation strategies. This is very important, how you prepare. Okay, the way you prepare reflects over the performance, obviously. Start preparing notes. You have enough time, okay? अभी एग्जाम की डेट्स भी नहीं आई, तो आप लोग के पास टाइम है. सो स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग नोट्स. टेक पीवाईक्यूज. पहले एलएक्यूज पूरे एक तरफ लिख लेना, एंड देन 2 मार्कर्स एंड देन 4 मार्कर्स. सीक्वेंस में पूरे नोट्स बनाइए हर सब्जेक्ट के, and revising from same notes will strengthen the subject, and this also will help in last minute revision. This is for all the subjects. एनएट में पूरे डायग्राम्स आप एक बुक में एक तरफ सीक्वेंस में ड्रॉ कर लो, जस्ट इन केस कोई बाउंसर क्वेश्चन आया एनएट में, कोई फोसा पूछ लिए या कोई आर्टरी पूछ लिए, एंड आप वो लेबलिंग में कहीं करे थे डायग्राम में, तो आप वो डायग्राम ड्रॉ करके वो लेबलिंग को हाईलाइट कर दिए तो भी आपको हाफ मार्क या 1 मार्क इजीली मिल जाता. सो प्लीज do this. This is very important for एनएट. एंड 2 मार्कर्स ऑल्सो. 2 मार्कर्स पूरे पीवाईक्यूज के एक तरफ लिख लो आप. लास्ट मिनट मैक्सिमम 1 आवर लगता है आपको पूरा रिवाइज करने 2 मार्कर्स, एंड इट विल हेल्प अ लॉट टू बूस्ट योर परफॉर्मेंस. बायोकेम में राइट ऑल द वैल्यूज ऑन 1 पेज फॉर फाइनल रिविजन, and do revise cycles multiple times. Okay, these are all the important questions which you must know before exam. You can take screenshot. I hope it's done. These are few SAQs and VSAQs. ये पूरे PYQs है, so you can read this and इसके proper notes बना लो. This is very important. Now these are values which are usually asked in 2 markers. For practicals, we have major experiments, minor experiments, spotters, and viva. For viva, please speak up. Don't stay quiet. आप viva के लिए कैसा prepare होना बोले तो आप आपकी रिकॉर्ड में एक्सपेरिमेंट्स है, पूरे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स पढ़िए. एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के बाद क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं वो पढ़िए. एंड जो आपको फाइनल एग्जाम क्वेश्चन पेपर मिलता, प्रिपेयर दैट वेल। मोस्टली क्वेश्चंस इसके अराउंड ही रहते हैं, अगर आप कुछ आंसर नहीं कर सक रहे तो दे आस्क अबाउट द क्वेश्चन पेपर। सो प्लीज प्रिपेयर वेल एंड स्पीक अप। आप खामोश मत रहिए प्लीज वाइवा में, इट विल अफेक्ट योर परफॉर्मेंस, योर मार्क्स ऑल्सो। And lastly, I would like to mention that be consistent with your prayers. Preparation में नमाज छोड़ देना, ऐसा नहीं करना, पूरे नमाज टाइम पर पढ़िए, तहज्जुद पढ़ने की कोशिश करिए। एंड एग्जाम से पहले इन मॉर्निंग आफ्टर फजर रीड सूरह यासीन एंड गो, एंड पूरे दुआ पढ़ के स्टार्ट करना। एंड कुछ भी मसला हुआ, इफ़ यू आर लेट, पेपर थोड़ा अनएक्सपेक्टेड आया, थोड़े ज़्यादा बाउंसर क्वेश्चंस आ गए, तो दुरूद शरीफ पढ़ लीजिए, थोड़ा इंस्टेंट रिलीफ तो मिल जाता है। एंड इंशाल्लाह हेल्प भी आपको अल्लाह ताला प्रोवाइड कर देते in the best way possible. And I hope all of this was informative. Inshallah, you'll score more than your expectations. Jazakallahu khair.
Jazakallah khairan. Until you have made biochemistry feel structured and less scary. That was very beneficial for all of us, I hope. Finally, we are going to have DADH. And for this, I would like to call upon Mr. Mohammad Zaim from Mamta Institute of Dental Sciences. Please, Mr. Zaim, take the stage.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Am I audible and can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Right. My name is Mohammed Zaim Ahmed from Mamta Institute of Dental Sciences, 2K24 batch, and today I'll be conducting a short guidance session for all of you. Before I start, I'd like to ask you all a simple question. How many of you had, at some point during this year, have looked at the syllabus and thought, there is no way I'm going to finish all of this? I think all of us have had that moment. When we entered dental school, most of us didn't really know what to expect. We quickly realized that it's very different from school. There's much more content, more practical work, and much more responsibility. The good thing is that every senior sitting here today has gone through exactly what you're going through right now. We made mistakes, figured out what works, and learned a few lessons along the way. Today's session is simply about sharing those lessons with you. If even one tip from today helps you make study smarter, avoid a couple mistakes, or feel a little more confident before your exams, then this session has done its job. Now, before we get into details, here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll begin by looking at some resources that I've personally found useful during the first year. After that, we'll discuss a few study techniques that made revision much more effective. We'll also go over some common mistakes to avoid, followed by carving guidance and practical examination tips. Finally, we'll finish with a list of important questions that you should definitely prepare for before your exams. Now, moving on to the resources. One thing I realized during first year is that you don't need 10 different books for every subject. For dental anatomy, Wheeler's is excellent for understanding concept because it's the standard book, right? The more you write from Wheeler's, the more you read it, the more you highlight and underline at every point, it's going to be better for you for fetching more marks, and it'll even help you during carving as well. Majitos is very good as well, but it's more useful during exam time because it's concise and easier to revise from. For dental histology, Orbans is your standard textbook. And again, Majitos works well for a quick revision for histology as well. If you're studying specifically for university exams, books like Abida Jumani and Satya Prakash are very, very helpful because they focus on frequently asked questions and they have the examination pattern as well. My biggest advice is that is not to keep changing resources every week. Every week, pick one main textbook, one revision book, stay consistent with them, and avoid overwhelming yourself. Now, study techniques. Now, these are the few study techniques that really help me. The first is active recall. Instead of reading the same page over and over again, close the book and try explaining the topic from memory. If you can't explain it, you found what you need to revise. The second technique is spaced repetition. Revision is much more effective when it's spread out over time rather than trying to study everything in one sitting before the exams. Third, teach someone else. If you can explain a topic in simple words to a friend or even to yourself, you've probably understood it really well. If you struggle to explain it, that's usually a sign that you need to revise it again. Finally, practice previous year questions. Universities often repeat concepts, so solving PYQs help you understand the exam pattern and identify the important topics. Mistakes to avoid. Now let's talk about a few mistakes that many of us made during first year. The first is waiting until study leave to start preparing. The syllabus is simply too vast to begin from scratch at the end. Even revising a little every day makes a huge difference, right? Second, don't ignore practicals. Theory and practicals carry equal importance, and many students only realizes a few days before the exams. Another common mistake is pulling all repeated all-nighters, right? This is a mistake that I made, and I feel like if I wouldn't have done this mistake, I might have been able to get a distinction, but I didn't because by the time I was done with anatomy, biochem, physio, I was completely burnt out by the final DADS exam. And that is something that you guys shouldn't do. It might feel productive, but lack of sleep affects concentration, memory, and performance. Consistency always beats last minute cramming. Also, a thing we do a lot is that we compare ourselves with our classmates. Don't do that because everyone studies differently and progresses at their own pace. Focus on improving yourself instead of competing with others. Finally, never hesitate to ask for help. Whether it's your faculty, seniors, or classmates, clearing one doubt early can save you hours of confusion later. Carving guidance. Carving is one of those skills that only improves with practice. Before you even begin carving, make sure you know the anatomy of the tooth. Read your feelers, read every single line that is given for each aspect, and get to know the anatomy of the tooth before you start carving it. Its cusps, ridges, grooves, and fossa. Start by getting the overall outline and proportions correct before you add the finer details. Another one is that always remove wax gradually because removing wax is easy, but you can't really add it back. Use small controlled strokes instead of rushing through the carving, and most importantly, practice consistently. Even a little practice every few days is much better than trying to master everything just before the practical exams because carving is a new skill for all of us, right? None of us have done carving before. So the more you practice, the more better you get. Even some you might not get perfect at it, right? But getting better is better than not being able to do it at all. Practical exams. Moving on to practicals. For spotters, don't panic. The main thing is that don't panic if your diagram isn't perfect when you see the histology slide and you try to draw it because, as we all know, the time given will not be sufficient, right? Get the correct identification down and proper labeling, and that is what carries a significant amount of marks. Focus on understanding what you're looking at. For Viva, be sure to go through your university papers thoroughly and prepare the commonly asked questions because many concepts are repeated. And again, as I said, when it comes to carving, please don't rush. Even if your measurements aren't absolutely perfect, it's far better to submit a neat carving than one that's broken because you hurried. Also, make sure that you know the chronology and eruption sequence of the teeth, as these are commonly asked during Viva examinations. Here are the important questions. I've listed some of them that you should definitely prepare before your university exams. These topics appear frequently and provide a very strong foundation for your preparation. You can take a screenshot of this. These are the LQs, and these are the short answer questions. However, I'd also like to remind everyone that this isn't the complete syllabus, that these aren't just the questions that you should read. There are much more questions and much more content to be studied. So please study all that as well. These are just what you need to study first. And then after all, you complete all these questions, then you can move on to the other questions. And these are some du'as to remember while studying and before studying. Please keep in mind to read these du'as, and hopefully they may help you study better and recollect things better during exams. And always remember to make dua and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance, and inshallah you all will do well in your exams. Um, that brings us to the end. Thank you very much. I sincerely hope some of these tips make your first year a little easier and help you approach your exams with more confidence. Remember that everyone struggles at some point in dental school, and that's completely normal. What's important is staying consistent, asking for help whenever you need it, and trusting the effort you're putting in. May Allah grant all of us beneficial knowledge and make our studies easy, bless us with sincerity in our intentions, and grant us success in both this life and the hereafter. Ameen. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Zain. The ADH feels much more manageable now. And with that, we complete all of our four subjects. And it's time for the question and answer session, which is the most interactive part if you make it. So please ask us anything, study schedules, Viva fears, stress management, nothing is off limits. Please go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. Half of us are probably thinking the same thing anyway. So please go ahead. Okay, we have a question in chat. Uh, Walaikum Assalam. She's asking, when preparing, is it better to go chapter wise or prepare essays first, then SAQs and VACQs? Please answer this.
Yeah, my
I
answer
think,
to this question, can I answer?
yeah, carry on.
Okay, so my answer is for if you want to go chapter wise, you have to start at the beginning of the first year. But अभी तो सिर्फ 2 महीने ही बचे हुए हैं. Like it's July and August. Most probably in September, second half of September, you all will have the exams. So for now, you should go for LAQs first, that is essays, then SAQs and VSAQs. Yes.
Any more questions? कुछ भी आप लोग कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं. Anything that is on your mind, feel free to ask it.
Lastly, I want to add one more thing that जितने भी participants हैं यहाँ पर, like 30 participants, and whoever listens to this session in the future or whoever is listening now, I just want to say that आप लोग सब aim for the higher score, aim for gold medals, university gold medals, aim for distinctions, because gold medals definitely they carry weight, because आप जब क्लिनिक में आप अपनी क्लिनिक खोलेंगे and you will have the board, आपका नाम लिखा हुआ रहेगा, so when you have gold medalist beside that, so it definitely carries weight. So I believe that सब लोग you have your potential to score 75% marks and score for distinctions and all. So I wish everyone all the best for the future endeavors. Thank you.
Someone has asked a question. So you just compare both the textbooks. Like if you feel like the BDC content is good, so you go for that. Or else if you feel that Vishram Singh content is good, go for that. But you always prefer to the content which contains the more amount of points. Okay. And also, yeah, for everyone, please don't forget to carry your essential stationery. That is for anatomy and DADS, you must and should carry HNE pencils, color pencils, your stationery, and your compass is important.
For Viva point of view, we can prepare the question paper. पहले priority तो question paper को दीजिए, क्योंकि questions mostly अगर आप answer नहीं कर सके तो they'll ask around the question paper जो आप लिखे वो, and उसके अलावा जो 2 markers में पढ़ते usually वही रहता है and experiments से related रहता, so experiments भी आप अच्छा पढ़ना, and osteo में viva will be quite extensive थोड़े colleges में, तो osteo के foramens के structures passing through and all सब पढ़िए, एंड बायोकेम एंड फिजियो में इट्स इजी, आप जो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स रहते हैं रिकॉर्ड में वो पढ़ना, एंड उसके साथ जो क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं वो पढ़ना, एंड क्वेश्चन पेपर, दैट इज इनफ। और 2 मार्कर्स अगर रिवाइज कर सकते तो वो भी कर लिए तो बेटर रहता। एंड ऑल्सो डिस्टिंक्शन ऑफ फिजियो एंड बायोकेम में कंबाइन कंसिडर करते, बट यू शुड डू वेल इन बोथ द सब्जेक्ट्स। कंबाइन इन सेंस फिजियो में 75%, बायोकेम में 75%, ऐसा, तो दोनों में 75% एंड प्लस आना रहता फॉर डिस्टिंक्शन। यस।
And Viva se pehle, one more thing that you guys can do is for physio and biochemistry, you can like go through the summaries. At the end of the chapter, you have summaries, right? So if you don't have time to like go through everything, at least skim the topics. So ऐसा नहीं होना कि कुछ ऐसा सवाल पूछ ले जिसका आपको बिल्कुल अंदाजा नहीं है। आई होप कि वैसे तो कोई नहीं होंगे, बट वैसे थे हमारे टाइम पे लोग, तो इसीलिए हम सेइंग के एटलीस्ट आपको आइडिया है ना कि हाँ ये क्वेश्चन ऐसा है, कुछ रिलेटेड तो बोल सकना एटलीस्ट उससे। So I would advise you to go through summaries, and I would advise you to like read through those one time.
Someone asked a question on DADS. I think, firstly, what you need to know is that no matter how well you write an answer, the university will not give you full marks for an answer. So it's better to come to terms that you will not get full marks, but try to achieve, if it's an essay question from 9 marks, you'll probably be able to get around 8 marks or 7.5, depending on how harsh the correction is. From 4 marks, you'll get about 3 marks, and 2 marks, the 2 markers can get full 2 markers. And I think that writing from Orbans is the best, and drawing as many diagrams as possible, drawing mind maps, that's like the best way to give more marks. And basically, paper presentation also helps you fetch more marks. Yeah. So I think it's better to read from the textbook.
We have an anatomy question as well. Uh, how do I remember anat during exams? I study but keep forgetting during exams. Okay, this is a very relatable question.
For ANAT, multiple revisions are necessary. आप बार बार पढ़िए वो चीज, एंड इफ पॉसिबल अगर आपको लिखने से याद रहता तो जस्ट स्क्रिबल डाउन जहां पर भी आपको टाइम मिल रहा, एंड रिवाइज करिए, रिकॉल करिए बार बार, दैट्स द ओनली वे। क्योंकि इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, आई नो, याद रखना एग्जाम के टाइम कभी पूरा ब्लैंक भी हो जाते, बट याद आ जाता अगर आप थोड़ा लिखना शुरू करें तो याद आ जाता इंशाल्लाह। आप रिविजन पे फोकस करिए, मल्टीपल रिविजन्स आर नेसेसरी फॉर एनएट।
For the
And
gold medal score wala question, the highest marks in the class will get a gold medal according to subjects. And I don't, जहाँ तक मेरे को मालूम silver और bronze medal तो नहीं रहता. And for the other question, which is, will there be any gaps? Yes, mostly during the final exams, there'll be 1 or 2 days gaps between each exams. And yeah, Hansini diagrams do take a lot of time, but I think by practicing more and more, that's the only way that you can draw them faster. And diagrams are necessary in SAQs to get the highest marks. Please draw diagrams in SAQs and LAQs. Just don't write paragraphs and bullet points, draw diagrams, especially in anatomy.
yes, I would like to add on that and say कि in anatomy, if you're like having a hard time remembering or whatever during exams, I would say कि diagrams are everything. जितना हो सके आप लोग अभी diagrams practice करो, visualize करो. Like हर चीज़ जो भी आप पढ़ रहे हैं, अच्छा ये है, ये है, तो ये कहाँ है? इसके बाद क्या आता है? इसके नीचे कौन सी नर्व है? इसके ऊपर क्या है? Do this while you are like learning, draw करते जाओ, and for sure it will stick with you. In like मेरे college में our sir had like a few classes where he just used to make us sit and draw diagrams. बस और कुछ नहीं. He would project diagrams and एक के बाद एक we would try, practice diagrams. So this thing I would heavily really recommend all of you के जितना हो सके anatomy, take a pen, take a paper and draw as much as you can while you are studying.
And for DADH, if someone feels like Urban and Wheelers is a standard book, and if you feel it's complicated, you can also go for the Ramya Rajkumar, because it contains exam point of view, like the presentation, side headings, and everything. So you can refer of that book also as well.
Also for DA part, maxillary incisors and molars जो भी LAQ point of view रहता, उसके लिए there is a YouTube channel named Dr. Opsy. उनके videos देखना, notes simultaneously बना लेना, and that's more than enough for an answer for an LAQ. and वो आप बार बार रिवीजन के लिए वो वीडियो भी बार बार देखे रिपीटेडली, तो उससे भी आपको याद रह जाता वो जो भी मेजरमेंट्स रहते हैं एंड ऑल। एंड नोट्स फॉर बायोकेम, तो आप टॉपिक, अब सपोज आप एलएक्यू से स्टार्ट करें तो एलएक्यू पहले टेक्स्ट बुक से पढ़ना, पीवाईक्यूज लीजिए, आप पीवाईक्यूज से ही स्टार्ट करिए। टेक पीवाईक्यूज, उसमें एलएक्यू अगर ले रहे तो टेक्स्ट बुक से रीड करो, अगर इजी दिख रहा तो वहां से पढ़ लो, इफ नॉट देन ये राजेश जंगल करके नोट्स के जो भी पीडीएफ है वो ग्रुप्स में प्रोवाइड हो जाते हैं इंशाल्लाह। तो आप वो उसमें पूरा जैसा आपको प्रेजेंट करना रहता है एग्जाम में, एग्जैक्टली वही फॉर्मेट में है। मैं खुद भी कई आंसर्स उसमें से ही पढ़ी, तो आप उसमें से याद करो एंड बिना देखे नोट्स लिखो, तो आपको याद रह जाता है, एंड बाद में आप रिवाइज करें तो वो रिवीजन हो जाता है। एंड प्लीज डू मल्टीपल रिविजन्स फॉर साइकिल्स। साइकिल्स आप बार बार ड्रॉ करो, फ्री टाइम में ड्रॉ कर लो तो आपको याद रहते साइकिल्स में, तो सबस्ट्रेट्स, एंजाइम्स और ऐसे छोटे छोटे चीज़ें भूल जाते हैं आप। तो मल्टीपल रिविजन्स फॉर साइकिल्स इज मस्ट, एंड पाथवेज भी।
Someone else asked, is it necessary to draw diagrams even in SAQs? I would say yes, if you have the time. अगर आपके पास time बच रहा है and you think that you can manage that, then you definitely should, because this will boost your marks to like 3, 3.5, like जितना हो सके you'll get a higher chance of getting higher marks. And especially coming back to anatomy once again, in two markers, if you draw diagrams, then the examiner will get like a really good impression about you. Matter of fact, I would advise like what my lecturer advised us in first year was that if you know all the two markers, then you should start with the two markers and start with the two markers in such a way that you're writing very well, and every two markers should try you should try to incorporate a diagram into it. तो इससे क्या होता है लाइक आपका जो एग्जामिनर है ही विल बी लाइक अच्छा इसको तो सब आता, इतना 2 मार्क्स में ही इज ड्राइंग डायग्राम्स, देन दिस पर्सन मस्ट नो वेरी वेल. सो इवन इफ आगे अगर आपको थोड़ा आंसर कुछ नहीं आ रहा और समथिंग इज लाइक उतना नहीं लिख सकते आप कंटेंट, the examiner will still have that impression about you, and he's likely to give you like better marks. So if you can draw, if you have the time, draw diagrams even for the two markers. That will definitely fetch you higher marks for sure. Definitely.
ऑल्सो फॉर टू मार्कर्स, अगर आपके पास टाइम है या नहीं भी है तो स्टार्ट एंड आंसर, अगर आपको उसका डायग्राम मालूम है तो पहले डायग्राम ही ड्रॉ करो, देन यू राइट द कंटेंट। एंड हिस्टो के जो क्वेश्चंस पूछते वो लोग, उसमें भी पहले डायग्राम ड्रॉ करना, अगर टाइम रहा तो कंटेंट वो 2 पॉइंट्स आइडेंटिफिकेशन पॉइंट्स लिखना, एंड दैट विल बी इनफ। तो पहले फॉर टू मार्कर्स स्टार्ट योर आंसर विद अ डायग्राम, क्योंकि डायग्राम अगर देख लिए वो लोग तो समझ जाते कि आपको आता, एंड मार्क्स दे देते। अगर टाइम रहा तो यू कैन ऐड ऑन पॉइंट्स।
For LAQs, you need to cover like minimum of 3 pages. That is one side front and back, and then again front and back. So like that. And yeah, in DADH LAQ, suppose you have got a question of DA in the LAQ, you need to draw the diagram for the, like, suppose the question is asked for canines. So you have to draw the of every aspect diagram. And for SAQs, you need to cover like 2 pages, front and back, that is 4 papers.
Yeah, and in DADH, after you draw the diagram, also you should like probably mention the measurements and other stuff as well that are usually given in your record. That will leave a better impression on the examiners.
फॉर स्पॉटर्स, हर कॉलेज में आई थिंक अलग अलग स्लाइड्स रहते, तो इट्स बेटर अगर आप आपके कॉलेज के सीनियर से पूछे, या फिर आप लोग को जो रिविजन टाइम रहता जहाँ पर प्रैक्टिस कराते वो लोग, जब स्लाइड्स बार बार दिखाते तब आप फोटोज ले लीजिए एंड उसका पीडीएफ बना के वो रेफर करिए, क्योंकि हर कॉलेज में आई थिंक अलग अलग स्लाइड्स रखते हैं, एंड एक एक टॉपिक के मल्टीपल स्लाइड्स भी हो सकते हैं, तो ऑल्सो मेक श्योर कि वो भी आप देखो, नहीं तो एग्जाम में आप जो फोटो लिए थे वो एक रहती है एंड एग्जाम में एक थी, तो आप कंफ्यूज हो जाते। एंड ऑल्सो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम नाउ, मतलब अभी टाइम है आप लोग के पास, अभी पूरे नोट्स बनाइए। नोट्स बनाए तो आपको फाइनल रिवीजन में बहुत हेल्प होता, आप लास्ट मोमेंट जो रिवीजन रहता है, एंड नोट्स रहे तो आपको बहुत ऑर्गेनाइज दिखता पढ़ना, इजी दिखता पढ़ना आपको, वही आपके नोट्स आप जितने बार पढ़ेंगे उतने बार आपको सब्जेक्ट इजी दिखता। एंड अगर कुछ भूले भी तो आपको याद आता कि ये मैं वो पेज पे लिखी थी, ये आंसर के बाद था, ऐसा याद आने की वजह से भी आप कर ले सकते। एंड डायग्राम्स एनाट में अच्छा प्रैक्टिस करो। अगेन कोई बाउंसर आया तो आप वो, अगर कोई लेबलिंग में देखे कोई डायग्राम की, तो वो डायग्राम ड्रॉ करके वो लेबलिंग को हाईलाइट करती है तो आपको अच्छे मार्क्स मिल जाते। इट्स बेटर देन लीविंग एन आंसर, राइट? तो अभी से स्टार्ट कर दो, और अभी से का कुछ है भी नहीं, अभी टाइम है आप लोग के पास, एग्जाम डेट्स अभी अनाउंस नहीं हुए ना, तो नोट्स बनाना शुरू करो एंड पीवाईक्यूज से ही करो, पीवाईक्यूज पूरे खत्म कर दो। उसके बाद कोई क्वेश्चंस जैसा क्लास में बोलते हैं ये इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर 2 मार्क्स एंड ऑल, तो वो आप कर ले सकते हो।
I think in DADH, to remember all the aspects of teeth, मेरे हिसाब से अगर आप वो जो पर एस्पेक्ट अगर आप उसको विजुलाइज करने की कोशिश करें तो इट विल मेक इट मच इजियर टू रिमेंबर इट। आप कार्विंग करते वक्त भी आप देखो कि आप मीजल एस्पेक्ट कैसा है, डिस्टल एस्पेक्ट कैसा है, ओक्लूसिव एस्पेक्ट कैसा है, बिकॉज इन वीलर्स वही सेम चीज़ें उन लोग टेक्स्ट में देते हैं, तो यस ट्राई टू विजुलाइज इट।
For carving, there's a YouTube channel you can refer, carve with MS या MS carving ऐसा कुछ है वो, तो आप लोग वो देख सकते हैं, वो ना बहुत अच्छे से आप लोग को सिखाते हैं कार्विंग के वास्ते। एंड यार, लाइक फॉर द आंसरिंग द क्वेश्चंस लाइक आप कंपेयर करिए कि लाइक मैक्सिलरी का सेंट्रल कैसा है या फिर लेटरल कैसा है, लाइक आप जब कंपेयर करते हैं इंसाइजर्स को तो देन दैट विल बी इजी फॉर यू टू लाइक नो कि लाइक क्या डिफरेंस है दोनों इंसाइजर्स में ऐसा। तो लाइक फॉर एवरी टूथ लाइक फॉर कैनाइन से या फिर मोलार से तो आप कंपेयर करिए टूथ लाइक टूथ कैसा है उसका मॉर्फोलॉजी, तो लाइक क्या डिफरेंस है उसमें, तो जब आपको इजी रहता है वो कवर अप करने के वास्ते।
I
The
think
channel
not for
for carving
SAQ.
is MS Carving or something.
आबिदा जुमानी से SAQs एंड VSAQs की बात अगर बोल रहे तो शायद VSAQs कर ले सकते हैं आप, SAQs भी थोड़े कर सकते हैं, बट आबिदा जुमानी में डायग्राम्स नहीं रहते, तो आप डायग्राम्स के लिए फिर टेक्स्ट बुक कंसिडर करिए, वहाँ से डायग्राम्स देखिए। एंड ऑल्सो थोड़ा कंटेंट छोटा रहता है आबिदा जुमानी में, तो एक बार टेक्स्ट बुक की रीडिंग देने के बाद आबिदा जुमानी पढ़ के पॉइंट्स ऐड कर लीजिए, तो दैट विल बी इजी।
प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम में कौन सी कार्विंग आने की ज़्यादा पॉसिबिलिटी हम लोग के आई थिंक फॉर एवरी कॉलेज इज डिफरेंट बट आई थिंक यूजुअली दे ट्राई टू गिव यू एन इंसाइजर और कैनाइन एटलीस्ट हम लोग के कॉलेज में तो मोस्टली इंसाइजर्स एंड कैनाइन्स तक ही रखते बिकॉज for the given time carving premolars and molars is difficult so they keep it to incisors and canines maxillary and mandibular.
Yes, it's the same for us. हम लोग कभी incisors ही देते थे और canines.
We had canines and premolars, so yeah, bas look for the premolars as well.
And somebody is recommending a app called as Bone Box, where you can visualize every tooth, it seems. So you guys should also check that out. Bone Box.
And
Spotters
the day of
for
physiology. Please go ahead, Anas.
no, no, you can take the lead.
Okay, on the day of like physiology practical, please like आप लोग अच्छे से खा के जाइए because you need to prick and या फिर like blood निकाल जाता है ना, so you guys need to eat well and go like be hydrated.
Yeah, and I hope कि सबके colleges में practicals like कराए अच्छे से and you guys have done that before. At the end, ऐसा नहीं होना कि you're panicking, you don't know how to pull the blood in the hemoglobinometer or whatever, like जो भी चीज़ें, I don't remember much, but physiology के practicals में there's a lot of blood work involved. So ऐसा नहीं होना कि you're unable to achieve something during that time. So make sure if you have an opportunity to practice that, so there's no surprises on the day of the practical. And spotters में to identify करने, can you provide the PDF जिसमें differences हो जो? I think it is best if you have a PDF from your seniors of your college itself, because जो spotters आप लोग के लिए रखे होंगे, it will be best if you उन्हीं से पढ़े आप लोग। तो ट्राई टू कॉन्टैक्ट योर सीनियर्स, या फिर जब आप लोग को दिखाएंगे थे ये आपके स्पॉटर्स वगैरह, ट्राई टू टेक फोटोज़ और जो भी है, एंड दैट वे यू कैन रिमेंबर कि अच्छा हाँ ये वाला स्पॉटर रख सकते हैं, ये वाला स्पॉटर है हमारे कॉलेज में, एंड ये वाला दांत ये है और वोट एवर।
And also, just to add on that, I think आपके कॉलेज वाले दिखाते भी एग्जाम से पहले कौन से स्पॉटर्स है. सो जस्ट टेक अ फोटो एंड इफ यू हैव डाउट्स यू कैन आस्क योर फैकल्टी कि ये कौन सा स्पॉटर था. टेक फोटोज एंड जस्ट कीप देम फॉर योरसेल्फ और शेयर देम इन अ ग्रुप.
Somebody is asking important practicals for biochemistry. Does anyone remember the important practicals?
Yeah, I'll post that in group once after confirming. Also, उसमें major experiments में I don't remember much, लेकिन मैं एक बार देख के ग्रुप पे पोस्ट कर देती हूँ।
Okay, thank you.
While presenting the answers, like आप लोग एकदम corner तक मत extend करिए आपके answer को, because the papers are going to be get scanned, so chance रहता है कि corners का जो है वो miss out हो सकता है। तो like आप लोग एक ऐसा margin बनाइए, lightly एक margin draw करिए, and then like उसी में आप cover करिए answers, because एकदम end तक गए तो आपका अगर print नहीं हुआ, scan नहीं हुआ, तो they may think that कि आप answer like ठीक से नहीं present करे बोल के, so keep that in mind.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, I think that is it. All right. Alhamdulillah, I know that this was a very inspiring session. And first and foremost, I would like to thank all of the audience members who have stayed with us till the end. Your energy and your presence has made this session special. Jazakallah khair. And on behalf of IMSA, I would like to thank all our amazing speakers, Miss Amina Masood Khan, Miss Amtal Jamil Mohammadi, Miss Anam Fatima, and Mr. Mohammad Zaim. You have like really helped us all here. Thank you for your guidance and motivation. And we're also grateful to our respected project head, Miss Amreen Sultana from Malaradi Institute of Dental Sciences 2023 for her vision and leadership. A special thanks to all the organizers and volunteers who have worked behind the scenes. And finally, thank you to the entire IMSA team for creating this wonderful platform. Uh, like my last words are like, first year may like feel very heavy right now, but all these struggles will soon become stories you'll laugh about with your own juniors. Just keep trusting Allah and your efforts, and everything will work out. May Allah bless your studies, ease your exams, grant you success in both worlds, and make you a source of benefit for the Ummah. Ameen. I would like to conclude with a dua. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Until next time, this has been Anas Abdul Tahir. Stay dedicated, stay hopeful, stay connected with IMSA, and smash those exams. Assalamu alaikum.